This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Joseph Musgrove, file number 23-21461FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people, and I have Michael Dagger-Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Musgrove. This is a date and time set for pre-trial in this matter. Mr. Musgrove said that he was appearing on his own behalf. I did verify he is not an attorney, and you are still the attorney of record. So, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, how do you wish to proceed?
Well, Your Honor, I am aware that Mr. Musgrove wants to present information to the court. I'm happy to be standby counsel if he wants to represent himself. Obviously, this court would have to go through the colloquy of that, but obviously it's Mr. Musgrove's legal right to at least ask the court to do that. So I'm here to observe at this point.
All right. So, Mr. Musgrove, when you were at the bench or up at the podium before, you said that you were appearing on behalf of yourself. So, Mr. Musgrove, are you asking to no longer have counsel represent you?
Well, what I'm understanding is that the courts is a private for-profit.
So, Mr. Musgrove, I know where you're going with this, and none of that is valid. None of that is law.
I'm not the all caps name. Of course,
none of that is valid. None of that is law. You are standing in my courtroom. I have jurisdiction over you. So
I tried to file paperwork with the clerk's office ahead of time so that you would have time to review it, and they denied me.
I know what you're talking about. None of that is valid under the law of the state of Michigan or the Constitution of the United States of America.
What do you mean it is?
No.
The Supreme Court says it is.
What does it say it is?
The Supreme Court says that if we were at the age of 18, we were supposed to claim our minor status.
Nope, not valid.
Okay.
So here's what I would say to you. Mr. Dagger-Margosian is, like most of our public defenders, exceptional attorneys and very well versed in the law and very experienced. He gives legal advice. You may not like the legal advice, but it's usually good advice. I've never had anyone from the public defender's office not wholeheartedly try to represent their clients. So what you are talking about is not valid, and it is not going to get you out of this case. You're not going to be able to say all those things because it's not valid.
Everyone involved in this court case has a financial interest in the case.
I don't have a financial interest in your case. I get paid by the state of Michigan, whether you plead, whether it gets dismissed. I don't make any money off you. We have budgets. The court system is not a profit generating revenue. We are here to represent people so that people who are charged with crimes are protected. People who are victims of crimes are protected. And that's why we have.
In order for there to be a crime, there has to be a victim. There is no.
Well, there is a victim in this case.
The victim would be the company.
You are charged.
I can't face
Ashley, just hold on. So your crime that you are charged with, which you are innocent as of this time, let me grab the right file, is failure. Oh, this is let me see. This is an embezzlement charge. So you are charged in count one with embezzlement 50,000 or more, but less than 100,000. That being an agent, servant, or employee of Hardwoods of Michigan Industries did convert to your own use without the consent of your employer or principal industrial tools and equipment in the amount of $68,938.40 or money or equipment. And that's a 15-year felony. So if you are found guilty by a jury, you can go to prison for up to 15 years. You're charged in count two with using a computer to commit a crime. To facilitate the charge in count one, that carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison. And the way the statute is set up, I can actually stack those possibly. So you potentially could be looking at up to 25 years in prison. So the victim that's alleged in this would be that business.
Right, and I can't face that accuser because that business can't get on the stand for me to ask questions, and a third party.
But their representative can. Yes, they can. Yes, they
can't?
can. Yes, they
Okay.
can. So I have 189,000 of student loan debt that was forgiven to be a lawyer. You do not. And Mr. Dagger Margosian, Mr. Isaac Sneed, all of the attorneys here went to law school to know the law, and their job is to advise you of the law. So
Yeah,
yes,
but
they
they're
can.
going-
Yes,
They're
you
going
can be
by
charged.
everything, all
You
the
can't-
laws and statutes that you guys go by
Are
are
legal.
for corporations. They're for
Still a crime.
fictitious
Still a
corporations.
crime.
But I'm not
Still
a
a
fictitious
crime.
corporation, I'm a living person.
Yep, and that's why
Okay.
you're standing in front of me. If you were dead, the case would be dismissed.
Yeah, the all caps name is that.
That means nothing. That's not valid. It's
Okay.
not legal.
right.
So do you want to represent yourself or do you want to have an attorney to represent you?
I need some time to think.
Okay, so I'm gonna set this for another pretrial on March 20th at 8:30 in the morning. And Miss Adams, could I get a notice of hearing for Mr. Musgrove?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Musgrove, have a seat on that bench right behind you. And then Ms. Adams will give my bailiff a notice of hearing, and my bailiff will provide that notice of hearing to you. Mr. Dagger Marco. Mr. Musgrove, you want to come up to the podium now? This is in the matter of the people of State of Michigan versus Brian Joseph Musgrove, file number 23-21461FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people and Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Musgrove. This is the date and time set for a pretrial conference in this matter. So Mr. Dagger Margosian, how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, Mr. Sneed and I have reached a resolution in this matter. Mr. Musgrove will be pleading guilty to 2 counts of LIB, and in exchange for that, the original counting information will be dismissed.
I'm sorry, he's gonna plead guilty to 2 counts of what?
I'm sorry, LIB, larceny in a building. And I don't know if there needs to be an amended information.
I have a count 3 larceny in a building, so I only have 1 larceny in a building, so I think they'll have to amend the information to add a count 4
Okay.
larceny in a building.
Okay, and then
He's pleading to 1 count of larceny in a building, is that correct?
that's
I
fine.
mean,
That's
we
fine.
discussed it, but I learning this morning that he's pleading, so.
1 count or 2 counts?
Mr. Sneed,
I thought we discussed pleading to count 3,
one
so we
count
don't
of
need an amended information.
beautiful. One count of larceny in a building. Count 3.
All right, so just count 3. Okay.
And then additionally, Your Honor, there's an agreement for no MDOC and no upfront jail, and also that the amount of restitution will be paid back over the course of probation, which would be ordered anyway.
Okay. And then count 1, 2, and obviously the habitual offender 4th offense notice will be dismissed, right?
Correct.
All right. Mr. Musgrove, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm going to need you to speak up a little bit. You're soft-spoken. So, Mr. Musgrove, you've heard the agreement that was placed on the record. Is it your intention to plead guilty to count 3, larceny in a building? That offense does carry a maximum penalty of up to 4 years in prison and or a $5,000 fine, but there's an agreement that there would be no prison term and no upfront jail.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it your intention to plead guilty to that?
Yes.
Now, you've had an opportunity to meet with your attorney and discuss this plea. Are you satisfied with Mr. Dagger Margosian as your attorney and the advice that he's given you?
Yes.
All right. Neither the prosecutor, the defendant, or anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Sneed?
Well, Your Honor, we did agree upon the restitution being set in the amount of $21,660, I believe. Other than that, no.
All right. Is that correct, Mr. Dagger Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And you would have the term of probation to pay that off? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Sneed?
No, thank
other
you, Your Honor.
discussion. Mr. Dagger Margosian?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and would you agree with that, Mr. Musgrove?
Yes.
All right, so if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable had you been convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No, ma'am.
So, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about June 21 of 2023 in the village of Clinton in the county of Lenawee that you did commit the offense of larceny in a building? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
Do you understand if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Sneed?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger Margosian?
No, Your Honor.
Has your attorney, other than the agreement that was placed on the record, promised you any particular sentence or estimate what your sentence will be in terms of fines costs?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Musgrove, on June 21 of 2023, were you in the village of Clinton in the county of Lenawee?
Yes. Oh, no.
And
June. What day?
with June 21 of 23 during that time period, on or about? All right. So, Mr. Dagger Margosian, perhaps you can.
Yes or no?
Okay.
Voir dire.
Mr. Musgrove, just like the judge had asked, on June 21st of 23, were you in Clinton, village of Clinton, county of Lenawee?
No, I was already terminated from employment at that company on May 5th. I wasn't there after that. The charges came after June.
All right, so on May, Mr. Sneed, any objection to amending it to May 5th?
No objection.
Mr. Musgrove, on May 5th of 2023, were you in village of Clinton, county of Lenawee?
Yes.
Okay, and on that date, did you enter a building, specifically Hardwoods of Michigan facilities?
Yes.
Okay. And did you take property from that company without their permission?
Yes.
Okay. And it was multiple items, true?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm satisfied, Judge.
Mr. Sneed, are you satisfied?
I am, thank you, Judge.
All right. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Sneed?
Yes, it has.
Mr. Dagger Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor.
I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights and he does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. And Ms. Adams, could I get a notice of hearing from Mr. Musgrove for his sentencing? I'm going to set this matter for sentencing on May 23rd of 24 at 8:15 in the morning, and I'll get you some paperwork today to take with you. Do you want to come in person or via Zoom?
I can do it in person, it's fine.
Okay, so we'll do that in person. And that will be at 8:15 on May 23rd. I'm going to send you, once you get your notice of hearing, I'm going to send you across the hall to the probation department. They'll give you a packet to fill out, and they'll set up a time for you to meet with them. Make sure you meet with them and fill out the packet, and then be honest with them about your background and the events that occurred. They'll prepare a report. We'll get a copy to Mr. Dagger Margosian. Call him about a week before or so to review that with him.
Okay.
And then we'll see you back on that day for sentencing in person, okay?
Okay.
All right, so have a seat right behind you on that bench. And then we'll get you that notice of hearing. Thank you, Mr. Musgrove.